In this episode, I will be in the forest in Ornes, where I have to push my bike into the forest because I want to see the black grouse mating game. And I get a visit from my brother-in-law and his brother. And I want to find a capercaillie mating game as well. Now I'm just biking into the forest because I am heading out one day before my brother-in-law and his brother, because I'm going to reserve a place in a special cabin that is built for the black grouse mating game. So hopefully there are nobody there when I arrive, so we will have the best spots for the night. And on my way out, I can see that it's still early spring because it's ice on the water and snow by the side of the roads. But it's actually starting to get quite nice in the weather and the temperature and everything, so I'm just enjoying myself. And after a while, I meet two gentlemen, and we have a very nice chat, and I get to know them a little bit better and hear their story. And then they are telling me that between them, they have approximately 100 years of experience in the lumbering. And today they had just fixed this lumbering machine. And after a while, they just let me pass because they were actually crossing the road, so I couldn't get around. And then my journey just continued for 3 kilometers before I actually have to push my bike through the forest. I start to push my bike without taking off the panniers because I want to try to push my bike and see if I don't have to go back and forth many times. And the toughest part is actually just in the beginning, and it's very short. I struggle a bit, but I managed, and after that everything is much easier. I just travel along and enjoying this nice weather and my time in the forest. And for the last stretch, I actually have to push my bike through a swamp because the black grouse mating game is always in a swamp. And that is actually quite wet and hard, but it's quite manageable. And when I finally arrived, luckily I can see that I'm all alone. So now I can actually reserve the space for me and for my brother-in-law and his brother for the next night. And while I am there, I'm just preparing myself to look at this mating game all alone for the first night. And I really enjoy this view, this nice weather. And there are some rules when you want to see the black grouse mating games, because you have to hide before 9 o'clock in the evening, and you cannot go out of your tent or whatever you are in before the mating game is over one time at 7 or 9 o'clock in the morning. So that means that you cannot go to the toilet. And my strategy is not to drink any water or coffee, especially coffee after 12 o'clock, and some water, but minimum, so that I don't need to go to the toilet in the middle of the night. Because if you go out on the toilet, they will see you and they will not come back again. The mating games usually starts around 4:30 in the morning. And then you can just see the roosters, the black grouse roosters, are then having this mating game. And the black grouse hens, they are just sitting around in the trees, just observing and to see which rooster they want to mate with in the end. And as you can hear from the sounds, it is quite loud, so you will be wakened by those black grouse at night. So you don't need to have any alarms. And it's so fascinating, because when you see them, how they are like challenging each other with some sort of dance. And when you see the hens appears, you can see they get quite aggressive, those roosters. And I really like the colors. They are such fascinating creatures. Look at how they spread their feathers and challenging each other. I can watch those for hours, and I have done this for many years now. But this is the first time I'm actually filming them. I'm really enjoying myself now. They are not hurting each other. They are just challenging each other to win the fight. There you can see another hen, and how one of the roosters is trying to mate with her, but she's not ready yet, because she is waiting for a winner of today's game. And then you can see the roosters, they're getting quite frustrated and more aggressive when the hen is in the picture. Look at how beautiful they are. So if you actually are interested in nature and animals and how they act out in nature, I can really recommend you to actually participate in something like this, because this is how they actually are out in the wild, instead of visiting like a zoo or something. I like to observe animals out in the free. Now I'm just going to let you watch without me talking anymore. Enjoy. And for the second night, I get visited by my brother-in-law and his brother. And his brother, he has never been on this type of activity before, so this is his first time. But for the second night, it wasn't as good as the night before, so that's why I didn't film anything, because I was so satisfied with the first night. But we had a very nice time together, and they joined me a part of the way out of the forest, and they helped me to push the bike where it was a little bit tough. But we had a very nice time together, and we all were happy and satisfied. And while I'm biking, I just see a frog in the middle of the road. It's not special, but it's always interesting to actually meet animals. And at this stage on my journey, I can actually feel that my body is coping a lot better with this type of journey. The hills is going smooth and I don't get tired, and I can even climb tough hills. So I'm just cruising along today. And I have really enjoyed myself while biking in this forest, because I have had very nice weather and I'm all by myself. And now I am on my own again, and I'm going to search for the capercaillie mating game. I have seen a capercaillie 2 times before, and they are a little bit tougher to find the mating games because they are a little bit more hidden and spread out. And I have taken picture of this capercaillie, and I'm so fascinated of them. They are huge, and I really like the feathers. And when you are trying to find a capercaillie mating game, you need to find some feces, and you have to find a lot of them, and they need to have a white tip at the end. And if there are even some feathers and it's like a lot of feces, that means you have most likely found a mating game. But all I found was some feces spread out, and that's just a sign that they are there, but I didn't find the mating game. And I was trying to find it for many days, but my brother, he got to be a father for the first time, and she was born way too early. So they wanted to stay at the hospital. So then I just went home a bit earlier to help him out. So that's why I couldn't find the capercaillie, unfortunately. But I'm so happy for my brother. In the next episode, I'm biking from Ornes and starting my journey to the south in Norway. And I travel through Oslo and Vigelandsparken, and I have to do some bike maintenance. And I will meet up with some family and friends along the way. And I have the second bike maintenance, and I just continue south. Thank you for watching till the end, and see you in the next episode.